Cincinnati, I need to ask you one more time, how are we feeling on this Friday night? Well, without further ado, let's bring in the gentleman that we are all here for this evening. He is three-time MLB All Star. He is Cincinnati Reds Hall of Famer, two-time World Series champion. Cincinnati, say hello to Ken Griffey Sr. Let's get right into it. Let's go back to April 10th, 1950. That was the year that a young man by the name of Ken Griffey was born. And he was born in a great place of Donora, Pennsylvania, where Stan Musial was also born, and also some people with pretty big names like Joe Montana have some roots. Tell us about Donora, what it was like growing up, your experience playing so many sports, and how you ended up on that baseball diamond.
Well, the difference is Donora is a small town. It's about 30 miles south of Pittsburgh, off of what we call 51, which is Route 51. It's not a highway, it's a route. But, you know, it's a steel town. In the off season, I worked at the steel mills when I didn't play, you know, during the summers, and in the winters I had to work. So.
Junior, he wasn't working in the steel mills in the off season, right? But at the same time, you also instilled a certain work ethic inside him, and you also let him know straight up who's the boss. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Junior never had to work at all. You know, I don't think he knew anything about work except for playing ball. That was it. You know, the first thing he told me, he said, "Dad," he said, "I want to be a Major League Baseball player." Well, at the time, I was playing for New York, and I said, okay, this is how it's going to work. So he would take batting practice. I'd go batting practice, let him hit. Then I got serious. If he wanted to be a Major League player, this is how we're going to work. I'm not telling you what I'm throwing. So I would throw change-ups, curveballs, sliders. I threw everything with the kitchen sink. And the first 2 years, he cried because he couldn't hit me. Of course you can't hit me. I know what I'm throwing. I know what I'm doing. I've been around a little while. But when he hit 14 and I couldn't strike him out, I let him alone. It bothered me. You know, because he was killing me. I was throwing everything. I couldn't get him out. I stopped throwing back practice.
We'll stay on family for a little bit here. Let's talk about your son Craig, you know, also playing baseball. And you mentioned last night how he had played baseball and he just didn't have it, right? Didn't love it. And he fell out of it and he came back to it later in life. And tell me about that story.
Well, it was a situation where Craig thought baseball was too slow. When he was playing, he was a shortstop to start it. Then he found out what football was like. His first year playing football. He stopped playing baseball altogether and decided to play football.
Let's hop back in that time machine. I want to go to a special time in your life. August 25th, 1973, you step on that Major League diamond for the very first time after your experience in the minors, and the reality hit you. What was that like? Tell us about that experience as if we were there.
Ooh, that was, well, when I first got in the clubhouse, you step in the clubhouse and you're looking at Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morton, Tony Perez, Davey Concepcion, and then, you know, you're saying, I don't know if I fit in here. When I got in the clubhouse, they had me sitting 2 rows or 2 lockers away from Pete and Joe Morton. You know, and I can hear them two talking 20 minutes. God, they talk too much. You know, JB never talked as much as those two. But I'm right there. And then Sparky comes in. Sparky says, "Are you nervous?" I said, "A little bit." He said, "Well, you should get a little more nervous." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "You're starting tonight."
Tell me about the longevity of that 19-year career, how you made it happen physically, mentally, and how you felt when you're 29th round. You know, like you said, it was hard enough to go into that to a starting role in an MLB roster.
Well, the difference was I was actually a football player. An athlete, pretty good athlete. I played basketball. I scored an average 27 points a game, 15 to 20 rebounds a game, you know, during the season. Ran track. I run track. I was running the 4.40, ended up running the 4.2. Well, I had the 2 tryout camps with the Reds, and I had to face a guy named Doc Medich, and he was the best pitcher in the universe, and he got drafted by the Yankees. So I hit 2 home runs off of him. I ran 60 and 6.2, and Elmer Gray asked me, he said, if you got drafted, not knowing where, he said, if you got drafted, would you play? And I said, yeah.
Well, take us into the Pepsi time machine once again to May 31st, 1991. It was the last day you stepped out on the diamond as a Seattle Mariner, and you did so with a guy who was pretty well known by the name of Junior. Tell me about that. Was it bittersweet?
Yes. They sent me up to Seattle to play with Junior, and I didn't like that as much in terms of he was the boss. Yeah, right, that's what I said. I'm playing left field, he's playing center field, and the fly ball hit left center field. And I'm camped under, he runs right by me. Now, he's 6'4". I'm about 6 foot. He runs right by me, snatches the ball, I'm ducking and couldn't find the ball, looking around, and I look up the scoreboard, he got his hand, glove over his mouth, and he's running off the field. He's laughing his little butt off. This is going to stop right here. So I waited until I got into the dugout, and I said, hey kid, come here. I said, you're grounded. Give me the keys. The funny part, he gave me the keys.
He still knew who was in charge.
Yeah, but worst part about it, I didn't know my way around Seattle on the first day. But the problem with me was he didn't get a hit in front of me for 6 years. So from age 12 to 18, I just told him he couldn't hit. Everybody else didn't believe me, but I knew he couldn't hit. You know, I'll give you an example. He was playing in Lakota High School. And this was about 2 days before the draft. And he was up there and they had like at least 60 scouts watching him. And Bobby Cox, I was playing for Atlanta Braves at that time. Bobby Cox was our general manager. He was there. And I come over and he said, what are you doing? I said, Bobby, who you come to see? He laughed at me. I said, well, what you come? He said, we come to see your son. I said, no, I said, you can't hit. Bobby said, oh yeah? I said, yeah, watch. So I sat down. Junior said, hi Dad. I said, how you doing? He struck out both times. I said, I gotta go to work. I'm going down to the stadium. We gotta play the Reds tonight. Well, we couldn't beat them anyway. I mean, the Atlanta Braves I played on, we couldn't beat our grandmothers. I'll tell you one thing, we were the best golfers in the world. Lavin, Rick Mailer, those guys can play some golf.
Oh, boy.
But, he struck out. So at the end of, we played our game. I came back home that night. I said, well, Junior, how'd you do? Oh, I did good. I said, but no, how did you do? He said, 3 for 5, 2 home runs. 3 for 5. 2 home runs. He didn't get a hit in front of me, but he got 2 home runs after I left and a double. Okay? So, after that, he spent the whole year. He got drafted #1 in the nation. Drafted #1 in the nation. He spent the whole year in Bellingham, Washington. I went to see him one time in Medford, Oregon. Now, do you know what Medford, Oregon is? And how many planes you have to take to get to Medford, Oregon? And I had an off day, and I flew out of Atlanta. I left at 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get to Medford, Oregon until 6 o'clock at night. The game started at 7. He wasn't starting. I looked at him. I watched him play. He came in at 9th inning, the pinch hit. He struck out. So I flew all the way down to L.A. We played. I called back to see how he was doing. He said, I'm doing fine. I left him 3 dozen bats at the same time. Probably 3 dozen bats. And I called him to see how he was doing. He was doing fine, but he said he needed more bats. I said, I just left you 3 dozen. Not 3, 3 dozen. He said, yeah, I broke 9 of them in batting practice. I knew he couldn't hit.
We're here in a great scenario. It's almost time for the 2015 MLB All Star game in this great city of Cincinnati. And the 3 times you were nominated to the All Star team. Tell me about 1980. Not only were you an All Star, you were the MVP of the All Star game, which means you were not one of the best. The elite group, you were the best of the best on that day. Tell me about that whole day.
First time up, I hit a home run. I was 2 for 3 in the game with RBI. And they named me MVP of the game because I got the rally started. Because he scored 3 runs that inning. And that's how I got the MVP. But it was still a great time. Being an All-Star, your peers, I mean, you're among the best. I mean, you got Hank Aaron, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, you got Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, and you're amongst them as an All-Star. That's a great time.
You were hanging out with one of the greatest baseball players and the greatest people right here, and he reminded you there's no such thing as a slump. So one more time, let's give it up for Mr. Ken Griffey Sr.